Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice, Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. Man, am I grateful to be here. What a wonderful experience I had last week. What a wonderful topic to cover, and we're going to go for a ride. I want you to think about the stress in your life. The eustress, which is the positive stress, and the stress that we somewhat think about when we think about stress. Negative stress, unresourceful stress, the weight of the world bearing on you. I want you to think about all of it. And I want you to think about how it is working for you, not to you. Look back in your life and think about all the great things you have done, and then sidestep with a different lens. Kind of, what is those? The Thomas Edison lenses from National Treasure. Is that what it is? Kind of the bifocals, right? Change the lens and you can see different things. Look on those times that you have done great amount of things, great accomplishments. You were very efficient, very effective. You got lots of things done. And think about the amount of stress you had on the system being your life or the world around you, or both of them. What did that look like? I had a conversation that kind of triggered this entire topic and this episode. And I was at a men's retreat where we put together 50,000 meals. We did some stretches in a field, did some breath work. There were some speakers, did cold plunges and saunas, contrast therapy. Just a lot of really great things to help release anything that somebody may be holding on to. And during our breakout session, I was speaking with a gentleman, and I said, if you want to get to where you're trying to go and you don't know how to get there, increase the stress load. Just add on more stress. And the example I gave was several years ago, I guess 2.5 years ago. We were living in a townhome. We were very comfortable. And I've spoken about this on several episodes. We were very comfortable, 6-figure income. We were cash flowing every month. We had more money every month than we spent. So financially, we were very, very comfortable and doing our same routines, hanging out with the same people, doing the same things. We just weren't expanding as people. And we wanted expansion. We wanted to grow into that next phase. Well, just a couple of days after my second son was born, literally days, he was born on December 27th. Yeah, that sucked. Right after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas, December 22nd, 2021. And just a couple of days later, New Year's Eve, I get a call from a friend. We were actually in the hospital on December 29th. We were getting ready to leave, so a couple of days before New Year's Eve. And I get a text from a buddy that says, I have a house for you. You need to come look at it. You're buying this house. And it was the farthest thing from my mind. We loved our townhome, and we designed it. We built it. And we had no desire to move. This was the middle of COVID when housing prices were astronomical. This was before interest rates went through the roof, mind you. So New Year's Day, Saturday, New Year's Day, January 1st, he comes over, visits us, sees the new baby, sees the family. His brother was the realtor that we built our house with. We alternate him and his brother when we do realty stuff. And he says, I have a house. You need to come look at it. And I told him, we'll look at it, but we have no desire to move. And he says, you do not understand. If I was in your position with a growing family, I would be in this house in a heartbeat. They want $100,000 less than it's actually worth because they don't want people to walk through it. They would rather have one family walk through, and you're the first people I called. And so we walked through it, and lo and behold, we ended up buying it. But when we were moving in, we realized that its mortgage was triple what we were used to. It was 3x. In fact, it was enough that my income as an executive couldn't pay for it. We could not afford this house. And we took a leap of faith. We increased the stress. We forced expansion. We forced unlocking new doors, new avenues, new relationships. So we lived in this house for 6 months. And then I left my job because my job could not sustain us. This was a spot where if we just stayed at my job because we're comfortable there, we could no longer stay in our house after about a year. It's about as much mortgage buffer room as I had. And so we went on an adventure. And if you go back and listen to the episodes, we were in this house for another 4 months, so 10 months total. We had to move out because we couldn't afford it, and I'd started a few businesses. We moved away for a year, and now we're back. And we've been back for 6 months. Super exciting, super awesome. But it forced a new me. It forced a new person. That expansion I was looking for has very much so come and is on to new expansions. It's never ending, right? It's a moving target. Force stress. It's called eustress, 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 which is positive stress on a system, something that makes it grow, something that makes it flourish. So last week, we've been trying to move the needle with our business. We've been trying to move the needle with our family. We've been just trying to really create this expansion. And so last week, I decided to turn up the heat. I decided to turn up the heat in every capacity. I changed my hormone load. I changed my sleep load. I discontinued cold plunges because that relieves stress. It drops happy hormones. We did everything we could possibly think of to increase stress. I actually did a 72-hour fast. Was originally going to do a 6-day fast, but decided so 144-hour fast. We did a 72-hour fast, me and my business partner instead. He increased this load as well, so we can just take it a little bit further. For us, we can tell God we did everything. We've done everything we understand and know how to do to move the needle. We've worked unreal amounts of hours, increased unreal amounts of stress, and took it all the way up to the climax last Friday and Saturday. Where Friday night into Saturday, I had nothing left to give. Literally, I was numb to everything. Nothing left to give. Financially, nothing left to give. Energetically, nothing left to give. Emotionally, spiritually, intimately, everything was given and put on the line, put on the altar, so to speak. It was sacrificed to move forward. And I didn't really know what this event was that I went to on Saturday, but I'm grateful that I went because it was a rebirth. It was a renewal for who I am. We went through a breathwork session and finished in corpse pose and then fetal position, which is the rebirth of a new person, letting go of the old you. That was the final capstone, the climax of the story for this last week of building this stress. And I really want you to ponder, what kind of stress are you under, whether it be external stress or internal stress. So often we get external stress from family, from work, from church, from neighborhoods, from neighbors, whatever it might be. But how often are you purposely increasing the stress on yourself? Internal stress. These things that we do, these routines, these fitness routines. I still kept my fitness routine. I didn't discontinue that. But I very much so increased on those things in the ways that I possibly could. To stack all of this together, it's amazing what comes on the other side of temporary pain, temporary acute stress. You see, when we're in this stressful situation, we feel as if it's never going to end. We feel as if this will be the rest of our life and that we can't possibly take it. But understanding that it's temporary, understanding that just on the other side of that acute pain is a bliss that you can never possibly understand or fathom unless you've been there. It is something that is so cool that I felt like I've increased stress before. I felt like I've really loaded the weight on my back and just pressed with everything I had. Little did I know how much you could actually give into a system, putting as much energy as humanly possible into a confined space that is my body. So internal stress load. So much so that my business partner and my wife were both pretty concerned about me on Saturday. And I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful for a team. I do not believe I could have done what I did without my team. Nothing great has ever been done alone. You need a team to achieve greatness. Who is your team? Who is helping you? And if you're trying to do it alone, I promise you, you will not succeed to the degree or the speed and rate that you could if you did it with a team. I'm grateful for my team. We are a team. And I do not, like I said, believe I could have achieved what I did last week without them. And then as I was at this men's retreat, my business partner showed up in the middle of the day. He did that just to check on me. He was talking to my wife, and she says, you need to go be with him for a minute. So he came and sat in the sauna with me and then got lunch with me and helped me through this rebirth. And how grateful I am for that. Who do you have in your corner? Who is your teammate or teammates? Who are they? Point them out. Tell them. Tell them how grateful you are for them. Tell them how much you appreciate them. And recognize that you cannot do this alone. But you must build the stress. You must put on the eustress. So often as humans, we want to put that off because it's difficult. But it is through the fire that we are forged. You increase the heat, you increase the temperament. Increasing that temperament makes you resilient. It builds you into the person that you are trying to become. And if anybody asks me, how could I get to the next level? I'm going to tell them, put on more stress. Do more in some capacity. That's not necessarily do more in the one thing. This is just adding stress to the system versus taking it away. This is extreme focus on one thing, which is adding power and energy into a system. And how cool that is. It is wild to see what comes on the other side. I know you can do it. I have faith in you. I love you. I hope you feel how much I care about you. It's why I've been doing these 80-something episodes. It's for you. It's not for me or for anybody else per se in my immediate sphere, but it's for you listening to this episode. I'm grateful for you. So, share this episode with your friends, your family, those around you. It is the only way it grows. It's a baby little podcast, but it's impactful. And the people I have conversations with and how it's changed their lives has been tremendous. Reach out to me. My handle is Mr. Brad Draper on all social media platforms. You can easily find me. I'm easily accessible. Leave me a review on Spotify or Apple or Amazon. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.